Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our hybrid virtual in-person service. My name is Tegan Nagafuji, and I would like to thank you all for attending this morning's Dharma family service. We will begin this service with a moment of quiet sitting, led by Reverend C.J. Dunford. Reverend C.J. Dunford will strike the bell, and we will sit for 1 or 2 minutes to quiet our minds and prepare to hear the Dharma. Then they will strike the bell again, and we will continue with the service.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Namanda Namanda.
Reverend CJ will now chant the Jusege, which is on page 93 of the Purple Service Book.
Jusege. Jusege comes from the larger sutra of immeasurable life. In that sutra, the Bodhisattva Dharmakara, who becomes the Buddha Amida, declares to the Buddha Lokeshvara Raja their intention to become a Buddha. The three sacred vows refer to Dharmakara's pledge to 1. Establish the most incomparable vow in the world. 2. To become a great provider and save the poor and the suffering. And 3. To attain Buddhahood and have the name heard throughout the 10 quarters of the universe. 초세감 희심무조동 시간후만속 세이후쇼쇼각 가오무료공 후이다이세슈 후사이쇼빈금 세이후조쇼각 가시쇼불분도 묘쇼초지포 극효미쇼몸 세이후쇼쇼각 리오그진쇼냄 조에슈원교 시금무조동 이쇼템닌시 진이키엔다이콜 후쇼무사이동 쇼쇼산금요 고사이슈야근남 가이지에겜 메시콘모암 해소그쇼아그도 쓰답센슈몽 고소졸만속 이오로지포 니지갑슈주기 텐콜옴프겜 이슈카이홀소 골세그도그홀 조라이슈추 세포시시크 그요의 사이브 그소크슈토크홈 간내시트졸맘 토크이산가요 뇨붓무게치 쯔닷미흐쇼 간가크에릭 도시사이쇼송 시간야코카 나이셈노감도 고크쇼템님 도의진묘케 냠니시그도흠 묘도세이사이 노을혼보다이심 오조음 나모아미다붓 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 나만다붓 나만다흐 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 나만다흐.
Please rise if you are able to follow along with the Gatha, the Enlightenment Song, which is on the handout. Please remain standing for the reading of the Golden Chain too.
Good morning. So you can sing along with me, or you can do the refrain. I think everybody should know this song. I learned it a long, long time ago. At that time, it was the Banana Boat song. But this time, we're going to try something else. Deo me say Deo. Yes, Deo, me say Deo. Chant all night till the sun come up. Read the Dharma, 'cause you just can't stop. Come, Mr. Dharma man, teach about the Dharma. Come, Mr. Dharma man, teach about the Dharma. De, me say de, me say de, me say de, oh. De, oh, me say de, oh. It could happen on Monday or maybe Tuesday. It's not promised on Wednesday. Give thanks for Thursday. Chant on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Namo Amida Butsu, it's Sunday. Deo, me say Deo. Deo, me say Deo. Enlightenment is the way to go. Enlightenment is the way to go.
I will now recite the golden chain on page 15 of the Purple Service Book. Please feel free to follow along. Golden Chain 2. I am a link in the Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds. Knowing on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in the Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Okay. Oh, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. We will now have a children's Dharma talk by Reverend CJ.
Good morning, everyone. I want to share a book with you, but first, I have a poem. Kind of a poem. It was a poem written in Chinese, and then translated into English, and then I sort of rephrased it so that it uses more common language. This poem's important because Shinran, our founder, quotes it both in his work called Notes on the Essentials of Faith Alone, and he also quotes this poem in his big work, the Kyogyo Shinsho. So I'd like to share that with you. If you could please join me in gassho as we read the words together. Buddha made this promise. When you hear my name, Namo Amida Butsu, and think about me, I will hold your hand. It doesn't matter if you're poor or rich. It doesn't matter if you feel unimportant or if you understand and appreciate your value and many talents. I love you if you follow all the monastic rules and try to be very good. And I love you if those rules are too hard and you can't figure out what's good or bad. If you only call my name, saying Namo Amida Butsu, I will hold you in my heart. To me, you are more treasured than gold. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. 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 This poem is one of my favorite poems. I wrote about it in my thesis when I was at the IBS. And I think about it all the time because to me, it holds the very essence of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, the unconditional love and acceptance of the Buddha Amida. And so I have a story to share with you that I think illustrates this in the form of love from a mother to their child. So, the story is called From the Stars in the Sky to the Fish in the Sea. It's written by an Asian American trans woman named Kai Cheng Tom and illustrated by Wai Yant Lee and Kai Yun Ching. Once upon a time, in a little blue house on a hill on the edge of town, a baby was born. They were born when both the moon and the sun were in the sky, so the baby couldn't decide what to be. Boy or girl, bird or fish, cat or rabbit, tree or star. So the baby looked a little bit like everything, and they looked very strange. At the same time, the baby's mother gave her child a bath and rocked them in her arms. Your name, she said, is Mulan. And she sang a song for her. She sang a song that her own mother had sung to her long ago. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be. From the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. You can crawl like a crab, or with feathers fly high. And I'll always be here. I'll be near standing by. And you know that I'll love you till the day that I die. And even though they still couldn't decide, the baby felt loved. Mulan grew up to be a strange, magical child who was always changing. They grew feathers and wings to fly with bluebirds in the mornings, scales and a tail to swim with fish in the afternoons, and fur and paws to play with the puppies in the evenings. No matter how many things Mulan became, their mother always brought them back into the little blue house, gave them a bath, and tucked them into bed at the day's end. As the star rose, she sang, whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, from the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. And Mulan felt loved. One day, it was time for the child to go to school. They were so excited. They grew a tail of peacock feathers and a coat of tiger stripes. Have fun, said Mulan's mother. But then, when they got to school, the other students were either boys or girls. They had no feathers, no scales, no leaves, no fur, no fins, not even any sparkles. No one invited Mulan to play. One little boy ran up to the child and asked, "What are you supposed to be?" Mulan didn't know how to answer. When they came home, their mother asked them how they'd liked school. "It's okay," said Mulan. "Did you make any friends?" "Not really," said Mulan. That night, Mulan's mother tucked them into bed and sang, "You can crawl like a crab, or with feathers fly high, and I'll always be here, I'll be near, standing by. And you know that I'll love you till the day that I die." And Mulan felt loved, but also worried. The next day, they wore a turtle shell and a porcupine spines. No one pulled or poked Mulan, but the other children still pointed and whispered. "Did you make any friends today?" asked their mother. "Not really," said Mulan. That night, Mulan's mother tucked them into bed and sang, "Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, from the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea." And Mulan felt loved, but they also felt sad. The next day, Mulan wore no feathers, no scales, no leaves, no fur, no fins, no shells, no spines, not even any sparkles. Mulan was excited to play baseball with the boys. No one pointed, whispered, or laughed, or stared, but when Mulan joined the little girls playing hopscotch, "Boys don't play hopscotch," said the little girl. "Are you a boy or a girl anyway?" asked a little boy. "Didn't you have a shell the other day?" asked a little girl. "And feathers the day before?" "What are you supposed to be?" said several children all at once. "I don't know," Mulan shouted, and galloped out of the playground on horses' hooves, swam through the stream with a fish's tail, and soared up the hill on eagle's wings. "How was school?" asked Mulan's mother. "I wore feathers and stripes so that the other kids would think I was beautiful, but they thought I was weird. And then I wore a shell and spines so that no one would pull or poke me, but they didn't want to talk to me. And then I tried to be just like everyone else, but I haven't made any friends. I can't decide what to be. Why do I have to be just one thing?" "It isn't always easy to be different from everyone else," said their mother, "but you can only be who you are." "What if the other children don't like who I am?" sniffed Mulan. Their mother smiled sadly. "I don't know," she admitted, "but I do know this. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, from the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea." And Mulan felt loved. That night, they slept a deep sleep. The next day, Mulan wore fur, feathers, scales, leaves, and many sparkles that glittered like stars. For a moment, none of the other children spoke. Then a little girl said, "You can fly? That's so cool." "I like your sparkles," said a little boy. "I'm sorry I pulled your feathers," said the boy with red hair. "I was a little jealous of them." Mulan asked, "Does anyone want to play with me?" They showed the other children how to gallop like horses, climb like monkeys, and swim like fish. It was fun to be many different things. And the child of fur, feathers, scales, leaves, and sparkles, who was neither boy nor girl, but many things and always changing, felt happy. In the little blue house on the hill on the edge of town, Mulan's mother smiled and sang the song her mother had sung to her once upon a time. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, from the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. You can crawl like a crab, or with feathers fly high, and I'll always be here. I'll be near, standing by. And you know that I'll love you till the day that I die. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, for you are my child, courageous and free. Okay. That's the end of my story. I hope you liked it. There we go. So, in some ways, we could think of Amida Buddha like Mulan's mother, who loves us unconditionally. And I think it's important for us as Shin Buddhists to aspire to be just like Amida Buddha, and to love people who are different, who might feel different, who might look different, who might have different ideas, because those people can teach us a lot of things, just like Mulan taught all of their friends how to climb like a monkey or swim like a fish. When someone's different from us, we have an opportunity to learn from them. And so if we act like Amida Buddha and love and accept them for who they are because of their difference, then we can learn a lot from them, and we can make the world a lot happier. So if you'd like to, please join me in Gassho as I read the poem from Shinran again. Buddha made this promise. When you hear my name, Namo Amida Butsu, and think about me, I will hold your hand. It doesn't matter if you're poor or rich. It doesn't matter if you feel unimportant, or if you understand and appreciate your value and many talents. I love you if you follow all the monastic rules and try to be very good. And I love you if those rules are too hard and you can't figure out what is good or bad. If you only call my name, saying, Namo Amida Butsu, I hold you in my heart. To me, you are more treasured than gold. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend CJ, for a wonderful Dharma message to the students. And then please rise if you are able to follow along with the Gasa, Many But One, which is on the handout.
Like a triangle, circle, square. Like a triangle, circle, square. We may well differ in how we look. Oh, the wonder of this life. Oh, in the Buddha's vow, we are all embraced. We are many, but one. We are many, but one. We are one together here and now. Like a triangle, circle, square. Like a triangle, circle, square. We may well differ in how we speak. Oh, the beauty of this life. For the Buddha's vow, we are all assured. Though we are many, but one. We are many, but one. We are one together here and now, like a triangle into square. Oh yeah, like a triangle, circle, square. We may well differ in how we hold. Oh, what all there is in life. For the Buddha's vow, we are meant to live. For we are many, but one. We are many, but one. We are one together here and now.
Now we would like to welcome the following guests. And then, oh, oops. Geo Kanagawa, please stand so we can welcome you. Okay, and then Kahina Wilhite. Okay. And then, oh yeah, thank you for attending today's service. Okay, and then we will have a monthly birthday lottery for March. Okay, and then happy birthday to, oh, I can't really see it, Masaru, A, Ron K, Mia N, Wayne S, Florence Y, and then Paul Y.
Can you have Willie F?
Okay, and then I'll pick to see who will get the prize. Okay. Okay, and then congratulations to Mia N. You won a gift card as a birthday gift from the temple. The temple office will contact you, and then they'll send you the gift card. And then if anyone else here has a March birthday, you can take a little gift from the gift basket in the social hall after service. Okay. And then I think we're singing happy birthday. I'm not sure.
Oh, sure.
I don't know. I don't want to do. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marlene. Happy birthday to you. Okay. And then we will now read the announcements that have been submitted. Okay, so the BBT Dharmanar is a monthly online session. It's going to be held Thursday, March 30 at 6:30 p.m. The sign-up link is on the slide of the website. And then the BBT Buddhist education classes is on Sunday, April 2nd at 11:30 p.m. in the Hondo. The topic is Onaijin. No registration is required, and then feel free to join. There's a meditation and discussion on Saturday, April 5th at 7 p.m. The sign-up link is on the slide and the website. Okay, and then the 2023 Satsuki Bazaar is back and in person. Sunday, May 21st, 12 noon to 7 p.m. The food that will be there is the signature BBQ Choice Ribeye Steak Dinner, Kahlua Pork Plate, Vegetarian Curry, Udon, Monju, Sushi, and Baked Goods. There's free entertainment from 12 noon to 3 p.m. And then see the Padma or temple website to pre-order BBQ steak dinners. Make a Satsuki bar donation, no raffle tickets this year. And then link to online silent auction will be coming soon in early May. Baked goods and silent auction donations over $50 value are gratefully accepted. The work schedule is drafted and most members are assigned shifts, so please check your email today and let us know if the assigned shifts work. For questions and more information, please contact Karen Kato at the email. Is it on there, or should I read it? Okay, kkato@berkeleybuddhisttemple.org. And then Karen Sugiyama has a couple of announcements. So.
Actually, I have 3 announcements. Two of them are on behalf of the Community Outreach Committee, which is part of our BBT Sangha, one of our mission, I guess, is to increase our engagement with our greater community. So the first announcement is regarding the Cherry Blossom Festival. The San Francisco Cherry Blossom Festival will be celebrated over 2 weekends, April 8th and 9th, and April 15th and 16th. So the Berkeley Buddhist Temple, in collaboration with other Bay District temples, are going to have a booth from which to share information about Jodo Shinshu and our sanghas. The BBT Community Outreach Committee invites sangha members who are interested in signing up for a shift at the booth. You have an opportunity to meet people from other temples and experience the joy and the craziness of the Cherry Blossom Festival. So for more information about tabling at Cherry Blossom, at the Cherry Blossom Festival, contact Tara, Reverend CJ, or me. Also this year, there will be a Cherry Blossom Parade, finally. And the San Francisco Buddhist Church has a spot in the parade. They've invited participants from other Bay District temples to join them. So, I have not been in a parade since the Easter Hat Parade in 2nd grade. And strangely enough, this sounds like fun to walk in a parade. So I'm hoping that I could find a few other like-minded people who want to join me. And if you're interested, let me know. I'll fill you in on the parade details. Again, the parade is on the 16th of April, and it will start at, let's see, it starts at I'm sorry, I lost my place. If you're interested, come and talk to me. I'll find my place later. The second announcement has to do with another event, another community event in April, which is the 2nd annual Berkeley Asian Cultural Festival, which is scheduled for Sunday, the 23rd of April from 11 to 6 in the downtown Berkeley Civic Center Park. So again, the BBT Community Outreach Committee will have a booth at this festival and will sponsor a taiko performance by Chiten Taiko. Again, we welcome members who want to join us in the booth or just simply come out and experience the range of diversity of Asian culture in food, dance, music, and crafts. Just a few of the other participants are a Gamelan Seka Jaya. It's a music and dance group from Bali. FeedTheNeedNepal.org is offering momos, say roti, aloo achar, and Nepali food. The Tibetan Association of Northern California will also have a food booth serving Tibetan food. And there will be other dance and musical performances. So I hope you come, just enjoy the afternoon. The last announcement is BBT Taiko. That's today. From 1:30 to 3, there will be a free public workshop open to all those who want to experience the satisfaction of hitting the drum and making a big noise. So please come and participate. The next 4-week session of BBT Taiko will start on Sunday, the April 9th, and the registration link will be sent out in next week's temple email. And there's also a beginner class that's starting on that happens on Fridays, and the next session will be announced shortly. That's the end of my announcements. Thank you very much.
Now the students will be dismissed to their classes. Would the Dharma school please go to the front of Shoko and go to the classroom? All others are invited to remain for the adult Dharma talk led by Reverend C.J. Dunford.
Good morning again. Hi. So for my adult Dharma talk, I wanted to revisit a very basic concept, but a very fundamental and important concept within Buddhism called karma. I think karma is used in a lot of different ways in popular culture, and almost all the time it has nothing to do with Buddhism. So I think we have a lot of influences on how we perceive karma as Buddhists that might be helpful to reconsider and or unlearn. So let's talk about karma today. I'd like to share from my Gosandai a portion of Tanisho 13. So if you could please join me in Gassho, I'd like to read that with you. Good thoughts arise in us through the prompting of good karma from the past, and evil comes to be thought and performed through the working of evil karma. The late Master Shinran said, "Know that every evil act done, even as slight as a particle on the tip of a strand of rabbit's fur or sheep's wool, has its cause in past karma." Namo Amida Butsu. 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 So this passage comes from the Tanisho, which is a collection of writings taken down by Yu Yembo, who is a disciple of our founder, Venerable Shinran. I've used this particular passage several times for many of my Dharma talks because it speaks directly to the importance of karma. The Buddhist perspective on karma is foundational to how we understand our lives and can help us to build a worldview that's rooted in the Buddha Dharma. Rather than other philosophies in the English-speaking world, much of which find their foundations in European and Christian thought. These words by Yu Yembo and Master Shinran help me to remember the basic point of being a Buddhist, and that is to follow in the footsteps of the Buddha, to live my life as best I can in accord with the Buddha Dharma. Sometimes it's good for us to get back to the basics, and so that's what we're doing today during my Dharma talk. The concept of karma comes very broadly from Indian philosophical and religious thought. That means that we can find notions of karma in various religious traditions that originated in the region we now call India. It's important to note that there are many such concepts in Buddhism that come from this religio-philosophical milieu, because we may speak of things like karma, transmigration, and dharma, and others in specific ways that are Buddhistic, whereas Hindus, Jains, and many other religions that use those words in their own contexts might be a little different. And since I'm a Jodo Shinshu priest, and this is a Jodo Shinshu temple, we'll be talking about these concepts from a Buddhist perspective. But I want us to be aware that there are other ways of thinking about these words and concepts from other traditions. Very simply, karma means action. Both the intention behind and the results of that action determines whether karma is positive, neutral, or negative. That's the very broad Mahayana Buddhist understanding of karma. In Tanisho 13 and in Venerable Shinran's own writings, however, he indicates that all of our karma is negative, because we have no way of doing the Buddhist practices necessary for us to work our way to enlightenment on our own. Let me show us a diagram that I made for us visual learners that can help us to understand karma. So in this image, there's a row of lotuses on the top of the screen. All of them are used to illustrate enlightenment, nirvana, or birth in the Pure Land. All the green vectors or arrows pointing upwards towards the lotuses represent positive karma. These are actions that lead us toward Buddhahood and awakening. Some of those things generate a great deal of positive karma and bring us to Buddhahood quickly, and some of them are more gradual and may be cultivated over many lifetimes. The red vectors represent negative karma, which are actions that either don't bring us closer to Buddhahood or they drive us further away from attaining that goal of awakening. Ultimately, Venerable Shinran states that all of our karma is evil because we have no way of generating good karma on our own. This is because if we strive to do good, then our ego self is the motivating factor. We might say or think, look at me, look how good I am. I'm closer to Buddhahood than the rest of you. That's the idea that Master Shinran is pointing towards. He even calls all of our so-called good actions poisoned because they all come from that self-centered view of me being better than other people. In Tanisho 13, Venerable Shinran also indicates that labels of good and evil are arbitrary and based in human ego-centered thinking as well. They serve the purpose of dividing us into categories of greater and lesser value. Here and in Shinran's other works, he points that people like merchants, leather workers, hunters, fishers, and others in the low classes of his day in Japan are all considered evil, and that aristocrats, monks, and royalty are all so-called good. But he says that this is a foolish way of looking at the world because we are all unenlightened beings. In his thought, it is thought and even justified in sutras that who we are in this life right now is determined by our own past karma. Shinran isn't necessarily condemning that theory, but he is saying that those who value their own goodness are clinging to their egos. And those so-called good people are eager to separate themselves from those who we think are evil. Very specifically later in Tanisho, Venerable Shinran tells Yuyembo to kill 1,000 people, and then he'll become enlightened. Yuyembo understandably protests and says that he's incapable of killing. Venerable Shinran astutely points out that due to Yuyembo's karma, he's incapable of killing another person. That is the karma of a monk. Similarly, a soldier whose very livelihood is to kill others may find it impossible not to kill human beings. That is the karma of the warrior. He also states that people who are poor or who work in particular industries that are considered to be evil because they break Buddhist precepts and can't perform the Buddhist austerities that enable them to work toward enlightenment, those people are also considered evil. Do they deserve a chance to attain Buddhahood as well? In this understanding, karma is much more than the actions that we take. It's also the reality in which we live as individuals and in community. This is to say that karma is our psychosocial reality. We might wonder if that's true and we're all evil or just simply stuck as unenlightened beings, and any time we try to do good, it's rooted in our ego selves, then what's the point of trying to do anything? Can we really change? Those are the tough questions that Master Shinran is leading us towards, and they're the ones that he faced in his own lifetime. When we get into these existential questions and really think about our lives deeply, things can feel quite hopeless. But it's crucial that we take a step beyond that, a leap of faith, if you will. There are people who listen to this teaching and come to a very nihilistic conclusion, where either we can't do anything about our problems and those of the world, or worse yet, that humans and society are incapable of change and transformation, so it's fine to just harm ourselves and to harm others. Jodo Shinshu teachings explain to us that we must rely on Amida Buddha in order to awaken. And in this way, our lives naturally change and we transform into a truer version of ourselves and live our lives more authentically. The only way that we can truly get to this point of reliance, however, isn't some formulaic path or equation like we want it to be. Shin Buddhism doesn't have a list of rules like the Ten Commandments. Rather, Shin Buddhist path involves deep contemplation on who we are in community, and constantly holding those identities along with the profundity of the Buddha Dharma. This is the light of Buddha, revealing our truest selves. From the decisions we make deliberately or subconsciously, to the contracts that we form in community, even to the politics that we enact based on those social contracts of what is good, what is evil, what is right, what is wrong, what is normal, and what is abnormal. Knowing that we're limited and unenlightened beings doesn't give us license to do just whatever we want to do and to cause harm. Rather, it should urge us to dive deeper into that sense of self-awareness. Venerable Shinran states, "Do not take a liking to poison just because there is an antidote," in describing the razor-edge line that we walk when we truly understand our limitations and come to rely upon Buddha. In this way, I see Master Shinran encouraging us to always strive to be a better version of ourselves than we once were. Perhaps this means trying to do good, but also knowing that we ourselves are never quite good. In spite of all that, however, in the eyes of Amida Buddha, we are always good enough. I'd like to conclude my Dharma talk for today by reading the Gosandai from the Tanisho once more. So please join me in Gassho. Good thoughts arise in us through the prompting of good karma from the past, and evil comes to be thought and performed through the working of evil karma. The late Master Shinran said, "Know that every evil act done, even as slight as a particle on the tip of a strand of rabbit's fur or sheep's wool, has its cause in past karma." Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. Okay, that will conclude our service for today. I know we have an announcement. But before that, I have a couple of thank yous and another kind of vague announcement that I wanted to share too. Firstly, I want to thank, yeah. Thank you, Tegan, for being our chairperson for today's service. Thank you, Tegan. Thank you to Bradley, Myron, David, Vernon, and Romer for their help during today's live streaming. Thank you to Tony and Ryan for monitoring the chat room on our YouTube channel. Thank you to DI for the wonderful gathas. And thank you to the March Toban for preparing refreshments. Okay. Yeah. So my other announcement is that I was asked to give a Buddhist blessing for an interfaith vigil that's going to be held at ICE in San Francisco, the Department of Immigration. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. There's a week of fasting to show support for people who are on hunger strike to protest the inhumane conditions of the detention of illegal immigrants in the United States. And so I think this is a really important issue. We've issued statements from the temple on behalf of supporting those who are incarcerated in this really unfortunate system. There's very few Buddhist people involved. So if you're interested in participating in the fasting for a week, like you can be, based on what your ability to fast is. And if you're interested in coming to the event, it's Tuesday, the 3rd of April, so it's coming up soon. And it's in the middle of the day. I can give you more information if you're interested. Just come see me. Okay? And you had an announcement to share with us.
Good morning. It's good to see you face to face. I feel like a, bear coming out of hibernation. But anyway, it's been really rough for everybody, and good for you for having survived it. And okage-sama Dad, the weekly programs done virtually have been very, very helpful. So thank you for that. And Sensei, your children's stories are really great. Children's librarians are lucky. They have a variety of books to choose from. When I was a children's librarian, we didn't have that, So anyway, thank you very much. And what else? Thank you for Tara and all of you for doing the work that you do. What you do matters. It really does. So thank you for that. And if anyone has not seen Mission Joy, please watch that. It is really, really good. It's based on an interview of the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu, thank you, who passed away recently. And one a Christian and one a Buddhist, and it's really joyful. So if you haven't seen it, do watch it. And congratulations to those of you who got Buddhist names. And I meant to, well, anyway, I'm here today. Going back to children's stories, in my day, when we had to look for Asian stories, we had to rely on folk tales. And how many of you know the story of the Grateful Crane? It's a Japanese folk tale. It's called Tsuru no Ongayashi. Well, the reason I mentioned that is that my son's group called the Grateful Crane Ensemble was here a couple of weekends ago. And it's based on giving back. The members of the group are strictly vetted, and they have to agree to the fact that they want to give back to the community. So that's the story, very roughly, of the Grateful Crane Ensemble. They did a show called Sentimental Journey, honoring the Nisei. There are very few of us left. And they want to do this, and those of you who missed it can catch it in San Francisco on the weekend of June 24th and 25th. June 24th will be the Sentimental Journey. June 25th, they'll do a honoring the Benkyo-do, the Manjuya. They were in Japantown for 110 years, and they closed down. And so that will be a very exciting weekend. So if you can make it then, they have not decided on the venue yet, and so all that will be determined. So that's all June 24th and 25th. And in August of 18th and 19th, they will be going to Watsonville and San Jose. So, catch it somewhere. And for those of you who did see it, I think you really enjoyed it, and I thank you very much for attending.
Okay, thanks
to everyone who came to our service today and everyone who joined us virtually online. For those in person, you're welcome to offer incense and join us for light refreshments afterwards. Thank you for coming.